Post 2 wins the Central Plains Regional. They're heading to Shelby, North Carolina, and it starts on Thursday for their pool play. And it's a little bit different for you, Rustad, because you used to playing all these brackets and these tournaments from the Gopher Classic, Sioux Falls, and everything else, and now you're playing a little bit of a straight pool play and trying to be one or two. Before we get to that, congratulations, and how about the journey that your team took down at Sioux Falls Stadium, falling to Excelsior in a slugfest to start it, but then coming back and winning 2 against them yesterday?
Yeah, it was a pretty special run by our guys. After we played Excelsior that first game, the good thing you take out of that is that our bats are ready to go. Obviously, the thing that you didn't like was we gave up 17 runs. You score 11 and lose. So you got to reassess just where we're at. And to come out the next day, and Taylor Parrott not only threw a great game for us the second day, and our guys continued to put up runs, which allowed him to get out of the game early and keep his pitch count low enough so we could have him back on Championship Sunday. And obviously that paid off because Taylor was absolutely unbelievable in Game 1. And then, at the same token, that first day, Jonas Sanders came in relief, and his pitch count was under so that we'd get him back as well. And Jonas did a great job in that game. And then, Austin Manuel did an awesome job coming in relief. And I got nothing but great things to say about everybody in this team. There's guys scoring runs and getting hits and playing great baseball. And there's so many kids in the dugout supporting their teammates, waiting for their chance too, but doing things that we asked them to do, and besides just creating a great positive environment. And it was just a complete team effort. It was something really special to be a part of.
And Parrott, too, was named tournament MVP on top of it for his performance. Before we kind of break down and recap everything and talk about how fun this is for Fargo Post 2, for all the people behind the scenes. I mean, it's been 27 years since Post 2 has been able to get to the World Series. They've been close so many times, won so many state championships in Legion Baseball. But what does the itinerary look like now for your club? Because Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to Shelby, North Carolina, that's a little bit more than a skip and a throw down the pond. You guys got some travel to do before your first game Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Tomorrow, this is going to be an early morning tomorrow because they got to do a room check and get us all, make sure our hotel rooms are in order. And that happens at 3 a.m. And then at 3:30 in the morning, they're going to take us over to the airport because they want us beat in the rush so that we can get all checked in and get on the flight to Charlotte, North Carolina, smooth. I mean, it looks like we're going through Chicago and then heading over to Charlotte from Chicago. So
that always goes smoothly too.
Yeah, I know. I'm like worried if our bats are going to show up. Not just if we're going to hit, but if they're actually going to physically be there.
So hair the nightmare, as they say. Yes.
Yep. So I was just looking. I just got the flight information here from the tournament director, so I was looking at that. And, we'll see. We take off. It's going to be a heck of an experience, and we don't even play till Thursday, so we get a couple of days to get acclimated to the city, and I guess they have some events planned for us. I know we were looking at something. They got like a cornhole tournament. So, and it's funny because we played one as a team before we went out to the regional. So now the guys are all pumped because they want to, see if they can be national cornhole champs as well as just Post 2 cornhole champs.
I can't imagine some of these parents. I mean, it's got to be a lot of fun for them traveling. But I know that, and I got empty nest here coming up very soon here. But that's the following weekend, which is what most colleges are doing. So you got seniors and actually kids going back to college too. This is a pretty wild week and a half for these folks.
Yeah, no, it's funny that all the guys were talking about, all right, I get to miss the syllabus day. We're real excited about that for college, and then the high school. Hopefully, we're still playing, and we get to miss a day. I had to call in today to my employer, Shanley, and just say, hey, I won't be there for in service. So,
well, you're lucky too, then, man. That really works out well.
So I'm missing a little bit of that, but what a great reason to not be there, and just to be with this team, for another week, and they extended our season. It's been awesome.
It's one of those things too. It's one of those things where you have to tell these kids, hey, enjoy every moment of this, but they really don't really understand until they get together 20 years from now and hang out at a watering hole, right? I mean, this is something that they'll never forget.
Oh, they're just still today. We just got back from breakfast, and we're sitting there talking, and guys are just like, I can't believe we're going to the World Series. I mean, it still hasn't sunk in for some of them. And, even yesterday when it was time to get the trophy, and you got a few seniors stepping forward, and I said, everybody go get that thing. You don't know if this is ever going to happen again. I don't want anybody standing back here not being a part of grabbing that thing. And, it's been great. We got guys who, like I said, haven't even played that much, but all season they did. They just haven't played as much in this tournament, but they're major contributors to our success, and they're all in, and it's been great. And it's been really, really exciting to be a part of.
We really had a blessing here in Fargo over the past. I remember going to this like when I was in third grade, whenever it was at Jack Williams. This is one of the, to see some of the top athletes around the country. I always enjoyed it when it came here to Fargo, and it's got to be great nationwide, too, to experience this, because it is some of the top players, and there's a pretty good alumni base who has played in this World Series that have played in the major leagues as well. Yeah, no,
it's funny, we were looking at, who our opponent was, and I think our first game we got to play Idaho Falls, and the kids are like, hey, Rustad, their top pitcher is a 15th round pick of the Rangers. He's already thrown 2 no-hitters in their regional. And then we looked at his pitch count, and I'm like, oh, he can't throw against us. He's past the day. And I'm like, their number 2 is probably a 20th round pick. Who knows? But it was the kids. It's so funny with social media today, where you might be going into a national tournament back in '92, and you may have heard of some guys, but now with social media, all my guys know. Like, they look up, they can find out stuff about kids that we're playing against immediately, and see what if anybody is like popping on some radar of a pro scout, and so we know that there's going to be a talent at this tournament. It's going to be fun to be a part of it, and it's hopefully a challenge that we're ready to go take on.
Luke Rustad, Fargo Post 2 head coach. Again, Post 2 heading to the Legion World Series in Shelby, North Carolina, starting Thursday. They play Idaho Falls Post 66, as we just heard. That'll be on ESPN3 on Thursday afternoon. Then on Saturday, they play again against a team from North Carolina in Randolph County. And then Sunday night, they got the nightcap against a squad from Massachusetts. The cool thing about it, after Thursday night, every game's on ESPNU for the rest of the pool play and the semifinals. And then if they get to the championship on Tuesday night, that'll be on ESPN News. So on top of gaining the experience, playing against someone that might be already drafted with a major league team, there's going to be some national exposure anytime you can play on an ESPN affiliate here. It's going to be a lot of exposure for Fargo Post 2 baseball for at least minimum of 3 games coming up here, Luke.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I got a packet yesterday of it said things for the kids to fill out for ESPN, and I just looked at it like, really? All right, thanks. You didn't really sink in that you're going to be on national television. I mean, I know every year there's little league teams that get to be on there, and it's like as you get older, it doesn't happen as much. Here we get to a Legion World Series, and we're going to be on a national broadcast, and just that's kind of special to be a part of as well.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of sitting at many of those tables during the banquet in the winter, which is just a star-studded affair. And there's a lot of who's who as far as alumni for Fargo Legion baseball. And these kids realize that in years to come, they'll be kind of that who's who. I mean, they'll be talked about quite a bit at many of these banquets. That's where we're at right now with this.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody has that idea yet. I was just thinking about it as well because we've inducted all 3 previous World Series teams have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I don't know when that happens or whatever, but I looked at the guys and I just said, you just put yourself in the Hall of Fame of Post 2 baseball. So, I mean, just that being that type of team that's going to be talked about, like you said, for the next years to come. And it's right now, you don't even understand the gravity of it, but it's pretty special.
Luke, how I know with your dad and Randall Rustad, how much of this is Fargo Post 2 as a family to begin with? When you talk to Pete and some of the guys that have been around Post 2 for a while now, and obviously having the tradition, as Derek mentioned, about Jack Williams Stadium and having the World Series come through the Red River Valley before. But for you personally, how gratifying is this, knowing what your dad and how much time and effort he put into Post 2, and just kind of maybe becoming full circle and now leading the team, as a coach yourself, leading this squad to a World Series?
Yeah, when my dad was my assistant coach, and he was my assistant coach first when I was at the Fargo Bombers in 2004, and then all the way till he passed away after the 2014 season. He talked about how this program's goal is to go to a World Series. He says a lot of people are just happy with state championships, but we gotta make sure. And he told the kids every day that our goal is to get to the national tournament, to get to that World Series, and it was something that we set forth every year. I mean, winning state, it starts with that, but you can't be satisfied after that, and then it's about on to the next tournament. And my dad, coming through the Fargo Post 2 program, he missed a World Series in 1968. His team didn't even win state, but the following year his teammates made it in 1969. And he talked about that. And, just to see where we got other connections, on the team with the 89 team. And Tim Sandy's boys are with us right now, and he was on that 89 team. And then in the 92 team, I've talked to a few of their players over the years, and just kind of to be part of that now is pretty awesome. And I know my dad would really, he's smiling in heaven right now because this is something that, him and I talked about all the time. And that's why we put in the effort we do to try and make these kids excel on the baseball field.
That is amazing. You mentioned Tim Sandy. I mean, so, you got your family, generational, him. I mean, it's just amazing the generations that have been through that program.
Yeah, it is a true family. There's a lot of connections to the game in Fargo, and families that have success that have come through the Post 2 program. And when you talk about just think about the alum and the players, and maybe even we're the ones that we don't know of. I mean, we've had a lot of kids go on to play college baseball, and we've had guys come back and send their kids through here where they played, and just for me to be a part of it as well. And it's been really awesome. Best phone call I got yesterday, I got a congratulations phone call from Jerry Harder.
Yeah.
And
wow.
That was pretty special. I didn't even expect that. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I just had a missed call on my phone and a voicemail from Arizona. And I'll have to get a chance to call Jerry and thank him personally for paying attention to us. And, obviously he was the coach for Fargo Post 2, for people who don't know, from like 1966 to 1995. And he's responsible for those first 3 World Series appearances. So it was really, really humbling to get a call from Jerry, and it was awesome.
Well, we always said about Fargo Legion Baseball, the coolest thing about Post 2 is just the fact that you got Deacons and Bruins and Eagles and Spartans all playing together for one common goal. And that is a special thing, a bond that they'll have together with rival schools the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I talk about that always. That's the first thing we talk about almost every year is, I don't want to see, your high school gear on. We're and I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm glad where you're from, but we're Fargo. We're a city. We're a community. You're representing your community, and you're right. I talked even about some of my best friends that I met when I was a baseball player. We're from Fargo South or Fargo North, and then on Friday nights in the fall, we'd be hitting each other in a football game. And it's just like you might get to that team and you're like, I don't like that kid. And then all of a sudden he's your best friend by the end of the summer, and you're like, well, no wonder I don't like him. He's kind of like me. So, just building those bonds from competition, you go forward, and now your teammates, and you accomplish big things together.
Luke Rustad, Fargo Post 2, a baseball coach with us again. They play on Thursday, August the 15th down in Shelby, North Carolina, this Thursday for the American Legion World Series, and that runs through Tuesday, August the 20th for the first time since 1992, and as we've heard, 4th time in program's history, they are heading to the World Series. Luke, thank you as always for the time on short notice. Best of luck coming down to your travels and your 3 a.m. wake-up call tomorrow, and go get them down in North Carolina.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chase. Thanks, Derek.
And again, Luke Rustad with us here. And how about this? 51-6 on the season, D.
I mean, that is amazing.
You talk about a team that has done really well from start to finish, and a team that has done a phenomenal job from start to finish this year.
Wow.
When you kind of get to that record before you get to the state tournament, there's a lot of pressure on you to win it, and they did it this year. Then to go down to Sioux Falls, fall in the very first game and have to claw your way back through that loser bracket and have
That's
a lot
the toughest part,
and
yeah.
have a lot of kids step up. That's a pretty phenomenal run so far for Fargo Post.
What a great season. I'll talk about 2019 for a long time.